And we're back. This week I put Trey on the bench. No, no. Thank you for joining us once again this week on Gamma Blerds. We are here. This is radiation level 25. God, we've done
29.
25,
29.
29,
29.
29. Oh shit! Something is loud. Oh, I'm sorry. I gotta turn my TV down. I gotta turn my TV down. My bad. My bad. I am so sorry. And no, I like to watch myself while we're doing this. But anyway, yeah, what's going on? It's your boy Rick. I got so many nicknames. I'm not gonna get into them, but it's Rick. I'm also joined this week by.
It's your boy, Weekend Herb. I'm bringing it back with a little twist. So yeah, how's it going, people?
And Lillian Des, your internet auntie and variety streamer extraordinaire. I don't sound very
All
confident
right,
when I say that, but that's what I do on the internet.
listen. None of us do. Like we
I
all
think
we
I think it's because we have to live life.
yeah
Yeah,
yeah
it's life be life and it's kicking the shit out of us. So I mean,
right.
it's
That
just
bitch got
yeah.
hands.
Unfortunately, all of us are introducing ourselves like a teenager learning how to parallel park for the first time. This shit is
Jesus
rough and
Christ.
Ass.
staggering. Um,
Dead ass.
I guess we can get right into it. Last week, I crashed out a little bit, and this week because he wasn't here last week, Herb has some things that he wants to address because that's why we have this space. That's why we have this platform. So, Herb, since you missed last week, we can go ahead and give you a few moments to get some things off your chest because I know you got some stuff that you want to say.
Yeah. Alrighty. So the whole entire incident with he who remains nameless, who got
You mean
yeah.
Charlie Squirt?
Yes.
I didn't say that. You
Um
said that.
I did say that.
so he, Jesus Christ. All right. So I want to be serious for a second. I respect and love my fellow panel co-hosts here. I even went as far as to text Rick personally, and I feel like every single thing he said, I agree with. Um, Now, I will say this. Hmm, how do I say this? Let me just get to it. All right. So give me a second. I don't want people to die for their words, but I'm not against them suffering for their words because words have power. And me personally, just the sick, demented mind that I try to stash away from a lot of people, my thing is this: I wanted him to live, but feel the pain, the burden of your words. Uh, it really had me like pissed off for like a few days, just thinking about the fact that we had nothing to do with this. We as Black people, we as people of color had nothing to do with this at all. But yet we're the target. Like we actually went out there in a state where the only Black people that's in Utah is either on the football team at Utah State, Utah, or the Utah Jazz. We don't even go out there. It's predominantly white. I don't have the stats with me, but I'm pretty sure it's about like give or take 98% white. I don't
Give
even
or
think
take.
that there's and give or take. And I mean, and like I said, I don't have the facts. So if you try to fact check me, hey, it's Weekend Hurt. Uh, yeah. But the thing about it that you deserve to get what you get off of your words. I even think as far as the, I think as far as the Cat Williams sketch, where like when somebody gets whatever they get, well, you shouldn't be talking shit. It is what it is. Um, do I have sympathy for him? No, no. Do I have sympathy for his wife? No. If anything, if I ever felt somewhat of sympathy, is his babies. And but even still, I'm like, do they? What is he really teaching them? I mean, because I don't even know their age. I genuinely don't know their age, and I'm saying that because I don't want anything to happen to kids. Yes, it is. I don't want him to die. I want him to suffer. Because I think about how when I was 11 years old, dealing with racism. I'm 11 years old. My parents take me to Pennsylvania, and it's the first time I've ever went skiing. It's Black people don't really ski, so I'm like, oh, this is new. This is pretty dope. A lady dropped her what's her name, her wallet on the ground. Walking along, she doesn't even realize it. Being the child that my parents raised me to be, do the right thing. So I went ahead and picked it up, ran over to her, tapped her on her shoulder. She turned around and seen a 5'8" Black kid, but automatically thought it was some grown ass nigga that was a thug trying to go ahead and rob her. When clearly I'm sitting here saying, hey, and she's like, so that shit, that's my first ever encounter with racism. Dealing with the fact that my father, Herb Sr., has colored on his birth certificate. Dealing with that type of shit. We talk about
it wasn't that long ago.
It wasn't that long ago, like for real. I even think about one of the most gangster motherfuckers I've known in my life. My great grandfather, Nevertheless Carthens. He went ahead and during the Great Migration, moving from North Carolina to the DMV area, he had to go ahead and fight the Klan by himself. By himself. Walked out there 10 toes down and fought them motherfuckers by himself and got my family up here. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for my great grandfather. God rest his soul. But dealing with that type of shit, that shit really got me to where it's like, I don't have sympathy for you. We as a people have been battling this shit for years. For years. And by the grace of God, I've never encountered any other type of racism since then. And I'm lucky. In fact, I'm blessed. And then the fact of the matter is that, but the rest of my people, my family, my friends, my people of color deal with this shit every single time. And when I see that a young man, what's Trey's last name? I'm sorry.
Trey Reed.
Trey Reed. Innocent. I mean, and they go. He's hung. We're in 2025, 2025, and he is hung, lynched. And then they saying, "Oh, it was a it's a suicide." How if I have bruises on my leg, broken arms? This is 2025, and we're still talking about shit like this. This is not 1930s when they were treating a fucking lynch mob was treating this shit like a fucking block party. Like for real. I mean, you talk about like, oh, racism was what's the name? Slavery wasn't that bad. They ate people. They ate people. They threw babies in the swamp for alligators for fun. And I understand why Trump is trying to go ahead and delete all of this shit because you just want to go ahead and look gracious and shit. Fuck you and any single person who stands by him on that. And I'm even going to take a step further. It's not even a race thing at this point. It's a common fucking decency thing for me. You can't even be a decent person. I'll take away the racism part. I'm just saying, can you be a decent person? No, you fucking can't. So if you can't even stand by the fact that this shit is wrong, just giving you the bare minimum. Fuck everything that you stand for. I hope you rot in hell slow. This is from Weekend Hurt.
All right. Well, I mean, listen, like, I can see that's been festering in your chest for a little bit. And like we said, the conversation, the draw of white supremacy and the hold that it has on the common, most American people is, and them trying to, the gaslighting of the right at this point is, it's gotten to next level points. It's sickening to have to deal with. And like we said earlier, life is exhausting at this point. And it's constantly just some other new layer that they add to things. Like again, I don't want to delve too deeply into this just because this week has been hard. And the lynchings of Trey Reed and the lynching of Corey, I believe his name is Corey Zakaitis.
Mhm.
Like we got we two young black men were lynched this week in Mississippi. And like this, like you said, this is shit that we're still dealing with in 2025. And then they're trying to gaslight us even more by saying that these were suicides. I don't know a black man today because of the inherent terrorism that has been imposed on our people, that has been enforced on our people, who would kill themselves by hanging by hanging from a tree. That's not something that we would do. Like I don't I it's who but then moving on, just because like I said, I don't want to show this turn into that this week. We have to move on to another topic that's another that's another Trump administration issue. This week Jimmy Kimmel's show has been suspended indefinitely, and he has been removed as the host of the show.
Mm-hmm.
For basically saying mean things, saying mean, but mean I mean factual things about the Trump administration. That he joins the line of late night hosts who aren't necessarily supporters or fans of this administration, even though Jimmy Kimmel, some would say, might be the more less impactful of late night hosts. Like, he's kind of been not middle of the road. He leans to the left, but he hasn't been like going at him the way that Stephen Colbert has gone, or even
Yeah.
Jimmy Kimmel for that. Excuse me, Jimmy Fallon for that matter. But he's just the next one in line to lose his job, and we're learning that freedom of speech really
And
freedom of
free.
speech. No, no, no. The right has freedom of speech. They can
Oh
say
yeah,
what they
yeah.
want
You're
to,
right.
but
Yeah.
when you say mean things about them, apparently you're losing your job. We saw with the doxing website that they started last week, where people who, if you weren't speaking reverently about Charlie Squirt, they were reporting you, and people were losing their jobs and things of that nature. So how do you guys feel about this this ongoing battle that we're constantly in, and this next phase to it? I'm gonna let Lillian go ahead and start on
Yeah.
this one.
Well, there's so much to say about it. Like, it's the level of cognitive dissonance that is so present everywhere we look in so many different ways. And this is like another level of cognitive dissonance, because what Jimmy Kimmel, correct me if I'm wrong, what Jimmy Kimmel said wasn't even he wasn't even just poking fun. It's like how The Onion is hitting way too often, because somehow the things that were complete parody in 2010 are real life today.
Yeah.
So Jimmy Kimmel, when he was saying these things, he wasn't even saying something that was like, I don't know, making fun of the way the blood poured out of the man's throat with relish. It was more like, oh yeah, by the way, the guy who shot him, he's one of y'all. He's not one of ours. And that got him removed from the air, because that destroys the narrative that the extreme right is trying to create. I say the extreme right, but honestly, everything that's right of center is just like, y'all out there. I don't understand why you're still there. Um, and if
Lillian, don't spend any more facts. Don't spend any more
I
facts
know
because we
I'm gonna
will
get
cancel
canceled, I'm gonna have to move to Mexico.
you.
I've resigned myself to that. I've resigned myself to that outcome. One day, Lillian will no longer be a United States citizen. She's going to be in a different country of her own accord, or because they thought El Salvador was where I needed to be, because I'm clearly not from here.
Yeah, I was about to say at this point. I mean,
I'm too
they're
brown for
talking
it to
about.
be here. I'm too brown to be
Listen,
here.
they're talking about sending Abrego Garcia to Uganda. So at this point, they're going
Uganda.
Uganda. That's where they're threatening to send him to. So if they're threatening to send him, who is clearly of Latin descent, to Uganda, they're gonna send my black ass to Australia. So or to, excuse me,
Malaysia.
right,
You're gonna be one of those people in Papua New
Mm.
Guinea.
Listen, and
Yeah.
listen, in 10 years, I'm going to be running one of those nightclubs in Thailand. So pay attention to your face.
No, you're gonna be the next Genghis Khan. I can see it.
So all of this is like, and they're doing all this under the guise of like the Make America Again ship from ages and ages ago. They're not even saying that shit anymore. They wear the apparel, but they're not even saying it anymore. They're just like, no, we don't want you saying that stuff, because it's not true. And it's like, nigga, the nose is on your face. You're telling me it's not there? It's on your. I can see it with my own eyes. People deny what they are literally seeing and replace it with their reality and expect you to believe it. It's crazy. It's crazy. I like when I put this in the show notes. I said there is no war in Ba Sing Se because it feels like in Avatar: The
Definitely.
Last Airbender, where it's like Aang and Katara and the Avatar gang, they were all in Ba Sing Se, the Earth Kingdom, for the first time, and they're getting tours, and everyone, like the person who's their tour guide is Julie, and she's smiling and da 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 da, and they ask her a question like, "We hear like there's these things going on in Ba Sing Se. What's going on?" And she just smiles. It's like there is no war in Ba Sing Se. That's what it feels like to live here every day. All this
Mm-hmm.
crazy shit is going on. The fastification of America, and we have to pay rent.
That's that's funny because it's
Yeah,
true.
that car insurance bill is coming every month, and they're expecting me to pay it on time. Yeah. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Herb. Go ahead, Herb.
No, I agree with every single thing that she says. She's spot on. It's just like it's gotten to a point to where I'm seriously thinking like, yo, we should move. I
No,
mean,
this all right. So
no,
no,
I'm just thinking about like,
all jokes aside, the most practical
'cause-
thing to do is to leave.
yeah,
Where we are, the most practical thing to do right now is leave. Everyone who stays after this point, you're taking your life into your own hands and you might not make it out alive. A lot of us are going to die within the next 5 years.
yeah,
And I wholeheartedly agree with you on that. Yeah, again, like I say it weekly on this show. And again, I don't know if people are actually listening. I don't know if people are actually want to hear ready to receive the information. But it's going to get worse before it gets better.
Yeah.
History has shown us that throughout dozens of examples, dozens of times of essentially hostile takeovers like this. We legitimately live in a fascist state. There are there are there are countless videos, there are countless interactions of people of examples being shown. Like Jimmy Kimmel just lost his job on ABC, and we're at a point in time where people who it's either you are going to stand up for things or you're just going to let stuff happen. Um,
mm,
Tatiana Maslany, excuse me, who is otherwise known as the She-Hulk in the MCU. She came out in defense of Jimmy Kimmel, in defense of freedom of speech, and she went against her employer, who is Disney, who owns ABC, who owns Marvel, and she told people to cancel the Disney Plus because that like essentially we have to take a stand and we have to
mm,
inconvenience ourselves now to fight against this regime that is constantly and consistently coming for all of us. Like the reason why everyone is so tired and the reason why everyone just like there's constantly something going on. You wake up to something every day. Something is always happening. It's called the blitzkrieg tactic, and it's meant to lessen the will of the people. It's meant to make you tired. It's meant to make you want to quit and give up and just let it happen.
mm,
Mm-hmm.
And we cannot give into that. We can't. We're going to have to unite and kind of inconvenience ourselves and do things that we don't want to do in order to show that we aren't going to just acquiesce to it and we aren't going to just let you guys run roughshod over us. This is not who we are as a people. This is not who we are as Americans. Because
Yeah.
true patriotism is fighting and holding your government to task when they do become tyrannical. Like that's the thing about it, and that's the crazy part about this erasure of history that we're seeing day by day is like they're trying to like fighting back against fascism. They're calling anti-American when we literally we literally had a whole war that we jumped into to fight against fascism.
yeah,
I saw a reel on Instagram who a guy this guy, he's a white guy. He was just like, you understand that if you're anti-Antifa and you had a grandfather that fought in World War II, then you hate your grandfather because he was anti-fascist because that's what that stands for.
yeah,
Um, and you know, again, like I feel like I'm ranting here, but
Yeah.
also like I remember a time when I was in school when we were taking history classes and we were in middle school, and you know, like I remember like being very interested by history class, and I would ask my classmates, you know, how do you? Oh man, like wasn't that cool? Wasn't that interesting or whatever? And people would always go, Nah, man, I wasn't paying attention to that shit. And even as a young kid, I was just like, damn, that feels wrong. Like I feel like we should be paying attention to this. And
Hmm.
now, as a full-fledged adult, and you have these conversations with people, and you can see that people really never really paid attention in history class because the playbook he's been he's been going off of Hitler's playbook easily, easily this whole time, and people are just missing it. Um, Oh, Teffy wanted to just say it on YouTube. It is easier to hide behind 40 atrocities than it is to hide behind one, and that's
Facts.
very very true. That is
Yeah.
very true. Like there, just to give a video game analogy, I know Lillian would like this one. It's essentially like the Trump administration has like a bunch of groups, and they're just putting up those walls, like just constantly putting up those walls to keep blocking us and to keep distracting us from what it is they're really trying to do.
Yeah.
And we're just continuously falling behind. But yeah,
And
I,
in
I,
in a lighter on a lighter note, just like you were saying,
mm,
where we have to like this is an information blitzkrieg. We're always learning something, like something new and
mm,
terrible is happening every day, but it's still very
yeah.
important to stop the steamroll and to agitate, prevent, otherwise befuddle other things, evil things, nefarious things happening in your area. And in a sense, we do have like at least one to talk about, right?
Mm.
Because I think it was about 3 weeks ago where we first talked about the data center in PG that was supposed to be going up in
mm.
Landover.
Just real quick. I'm sorry. I don't want to cut you off. I did have one more thing before we get into that one because I do want us to talk about that. Um, I just want to say, Rick, you are right because I was one of those kids, and I want to say this today because, and I don't know where she is, Miss Conover. When I went to Sorrelsville in 2002, uh, one of the coolest teachers I've ever had, but also she was on my ass because I wasn't paying attention as much. And still to this day, I wish I could, if I ever got the chance to meet her, see her again, I want to tell her, thank you for being on me. Thank you for trying to inform me on history of the things that we need to know because now this shit's coming back to bite us in the ass. One thing, even as far as like when one thing that I just picked up this book the other day, because it's prevalent now, even though it came out 2 years ago. It's prevalent now because they're trying to erase our history. It's a book called Black as Fuck History, and it's basically talking about the real version of history, not having no uh, you don't want to white. It's not whitewashing. It's
Yeah,
definitely just like
it's called
good.
Black AF History, the unwhitewashed history
Unwatchable.
of America. Yeah,
Yeah.
I suggest everybody get that book. I actually just ordered it off of TikTok Shop the other day. And Herb, lucky for you, we've got Miss Conover, and she's coming. No, I'm joking. But no,
Oh, I'm
moving on.
about to.
No,
Yeah.
but transitioning like Lillian was doing to begin with. Yeah, the Landover data center that was supposed to go up, which essentially is an AI. I keep calling it a server farm, but it's not even really a server farm. It's just
No,
a big ass toxic compound. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Lily.
no, you were more accurate with server farm. They keep calling it a data center because that sanitizes the image that it projects into people's minds. But it's essentially going to be a server like a large building, literally the size of Landover Mall, where they
Yeah.
just house like servers so they can process all the requests for this AI thing that they're trying to run. And in doing so, they would create dirty water that we can't reuse, like we can't clean and reuse. It would be a huge draw on our power grid, and Pepco would just love that for us. It would create a lot of problems, and that's just the practical effect. That's just the surface level stuff. There's also like the pollution and contamination that happens with these data centers, like it's happening with our brothers and sisters in Memphis, Tennessee, and shit. And it's just like the fact that you're moving to specifically black areas and doing this shit is insane. like it's not okay. Insane isn't the right word. It's so openly nefarious that I don't have words.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. It's we're dealing with comic book villains. Anyone who's
It's
known me, anyone who's
accurate.
known me for a long time, I've been saying this for a very long time. I've been using this analogy for over 20 years. But this
Hmm.
country was founded by supervillains. And it becomes more and more accurate every fucking day. Like we they are literally on comic book villainy levels right now at this point. And a lot of their ire, and again, the ironic, the loudest dog whistle has been the slogan of "Make America Great Again." Because I don't know, I mean, I'm not like when I first heard that, like immediately my antennas went up because I'm just like, man, as a black person, when the fuck has this country been great for me? So,
Exactly.
what do you mean
Exactly.
make America great again? That's alarming. I don't like
Yeah.
that. You're trying to go back to a throwback time to when either
Mm-hmm.
my people were in bondage or my people were considered to be just again. I'm sorry. I keep getting flustered, y'all. Like my brain is
Your
it's
brain
a
is
lot
moving
going
faster
on
than
up
your
here.
mouth
Yeah.
can.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So, but no. Getting back to the subject at hand, like this is a good thing. It's kind of like it's not really like it hasn't been struck down, but this is kind of like a stay of execution, so to speak. And it's good to see the community united. Like I believe that the city meeting was a couple of weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
It was on a Wednesday. It was on a Wednesday at 1 p.m. And
Mhm.
I went down there and I actually couldn't get in because it was so many people there. Like I tried to get there early and there were people. There were they had we jammed up the facility to the point to where they had to keep turning people away. And even on the outside, it was still hundreds of people on the outside who were against this data center. So I mean, if we like this is a small victory, but we need to continue to stay vigilant. And even when the next time when because I'm sure they're like, all right, we tried Wednesday at 1 p.m. to try and get this over. They're gonna have the next meeting probably on like a Monday at 9 a.m. or something crazy like that. So
Exactly.
y'all save your leave. Don't worry about going on vacation real quick because we're gonna need it because we're gonna need to get back out there another time again. So yeah,
Yeah.
again, I'm proud of everybody here in PG County for standing up for what's right and fighting back against one aspect of this tyrannical ass government that we got going on.
Yes.
Um,
Indeed.
so I don't know how to transition out of this
Now
one
just make a
into
hard left. Just hard
yeah,
left.
yeah. You actually, you know what? You're right. Trey ain't here this week. We ain't got to worry about making. Oh, we don't got to worry about.
No,
We don't
you
got to worry
can't do
about.
it. You can't do
Yeah,
it that way, Rick. Stop.
no,
No,
look,
no, no.
look. Fuck all that. I ain't worried about no damn
I'm
symmetry.
going. You know what?
Lillian,
I'm going to sit back here like this.
huh, Lillian got some video game shit she want to talk about. Lillian, go ahead with your video game.
Yeah, there's video
With
game to
with your
shit to
video.
talk about this week. Video game shit. Okay, so if you are a spoopy person or enjoy spoopy content like myself, you more than likely know of this game series called Little Nightmares. Little Nightmares. I don't know when the game series first came out because by the time I caught up with it, the second iteration, the second game had just come out, Little Nightmares 2, and I've watched that from beginning to end. And let me tell you, while that game maybe takes 10, 11 hours to get all the way through, it is the creepiest, most unsettling 10, 11 hours of gameplay I've experienced. And I don't play spooky games, so that's not a high bar, but it is very creepy. It is very unsettling. And now they have made a third installment of the series. Why does your face look like that, Rick?
Because I'm just thinking about the teacher. I don't know if it was in
Oh,
Little
yeah.
Nightmares
Yeah,
one
that was
or
two.
two.
That was two. That was two.
Yeah, the two with the teacher who had like the
The stretch
elongated
neck?
neck. And she
Yeah.
like, yeah, and she turns into a snake and is chasing you around. I was just like, oh no no
She,
no no
No,
no.
no, 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 no,
yeah,
no, no,
yeah, yeah, that
no.
was two.
No, I don't do snakes. No, no, no.
Nah,
Not even
I don't
snake
like it.
nets. No.
Herb,
Uh,
you should definitely watch Little Nightmares too.
no, no, no.
So Little Nightmares 3, I came across the trailer this week because it's set to release on October 10th. And this
Mhm.
third iteration, this third installment of the Little Nightmares series is co-op. So a lot like in what's the name of that game? It Takes Two, where you have to
Yeah.
traverse the adventure together. Just in a similar fashion, you have to have your friend playing the game with you to continue the game. or to play through that entire game. So it's two little kids. It's always been two little kids, but two little kids where one person controls the other while y'all are running around.
Okay.
So
All right.
guaranteed to be a creepy time, but a good time. And I'm very tempted to play this one, even though I never played the first two and they did creep me out.
The fact that it's co-op, I might have to join you with this one because I am very much trying to. That cheap plug. I'm trying to join the Black Okage in his war against gunball games. So like I want to try to play that. Ghost of Yote, which is the sequel to Ghost of Tsushima, comes out in I believe 11 days. So I don't know where I'm gonna have the time to play all of this, but I'm gonna try. There are a bunch. I have a backlog of games, and now that my PlayStation is back,
yes,
finally, thank you.
Round of applause.
I'm working my way through some stuff. I finished. Like I didn't actually get to finish Red Dead Redemption 2. So I finished that up. I got some practicing on Marvel Rivals. And I learned that I'm trash.
It's part of the process.
Yeah.
I'll get better. Like I got on some quick play games, and I played this Namor, and I was just fucking people up. So
that's nice.
But
wow, okay.
So, but no, like there's a sentiment online amongst people who again, like I said, who are gunball gamers who say there ain't no games to play. There are too many games to play. There are a lot of games to play. So if you're a gamer and you don't want to just play 2K or Call of Duty, there's a lot of shit out here for you. And I suggest that everybody get back into that whole like single player, 3D adventure games because there's plenty of those out there. Please play your games, and don't let these old,
go ahead, finish your sentence.
I was gonna say, and don't let these old people shame you for thinking that. Listen, I'm 42 years old. I'm not hiding my age, and yes, I still do play video games. And guess what? I'm gonna keep playing video games until my goddamn fingers fall off. Don't let these old people, because they didn't have game machines, freak you out or get into your head of saying you too old to play games.
They're the same ones who always talk about, I got to go and listen to my stuff on vinyl and 8-track and all this other shit. Look here, it sounds better digitally. And guess what? We're playing our video games, so I don't give a fuck. So yeah.
So, anyway, Lillian, what were you about to
say? Speaking of non-ball games, non-shoot ball games, there is another one that I played this week called The Lift, Supernatural Handyman Simulator, and I'm excited about it because I got to play it as a playtest, so it was free. It's a gaming studio that's working on this game. And it is a cozy, spoopy game. So if you can join the playtest, you might have fun if you enjoy one, cozy games, two, things that are kind of creepy. And I say spoopy instead of spooky because there have been no jump scares. You're the only person walking around in this futuristic environment where something happened, everything went wrong and something happened, and this handyman is just your occupation. You have to clean everything up to figure out what happened. So spooky, yes. Jump scares and other things following you around and footsteps in the distance, no. Love that for me.
Interesting. Might have to maybe one day I'll look into one of those. But moving right along.
Yes. What?
I'm trying to read it off the Canva, and I'm trying to think of a way to how to bring it in.
But
hold
on.
Hard.
Trey ain't here. Just say
it. He's the one that massages. Just go for it, man.
All right. So Megan Thee Stallion is working on she's working on an anime with Carl Jones of Boondocks fame, one of the producers from the Boondocks. Lillian, this was. I'm sorry, this was your topic, but I'm not too familiar with what the basis of the show is. Do you happen to know any of that?
I wasn't able to find information about that. I'm kind of excited. I thought it was relevant just because now we see Megan Thee Stallion branching out into different things outside of music. kind of like Rihanna did with Savage Fenty and Fenty makeup. She's like Megan the Stallion is branching into other things that interest her, and she could have just become. She could have like done a Rihanna, pulled Rihanna, and went in more into like makeup and fashion. And I'm sure she does have some fashion dabblings, but she was like, nah, anime. Anime is my obsession. I'm gonna learn. I'm gonna do something with anime, and she started working with one of the producers of Boondocks to get a show off the ground. And it looks like it's going somewhere, but they haven't said anything exactly about it unless somebody knows
Okay.
something.
I haven't really seen anything, but the fact that Carl Jones is like the one is Megan Thee Stallion making an anime. So like we've seen how much of a weeb she is, or
Oh
how much
yeah.
of a like.
Yeah.
So I'm that gets me excited. But then the fact that Carl Jones is attached to it, and for those of you that don't know, like Carl Jones is one of those. He was one of the characters. He was a producer on the Boondocks, and he was also one of the character actors. He was the one that did was no, it wasn't Thugnificent. It was Thugnificent. Yes, he was the one that did Thugnificent. And he was the
Damn.
one that, yeah.
I wonder why
Only
they made him really that mad.
right. Oh, what did he do to make them niggas that mad? Or
Mad.
was it
It
no,
was the
Gangsta
Usher.
Listens was no, he did Booty Butt Cheeks. I'm sorry, that's the song I was looking for. Like if you remember the song where Gangsta Listens, no, is it? God damn it, I keep
It's
mixing.
Gangsta Delicious.
Yeah,
Thugnificent, and
Thug,
it was Booty Butt Cheeks.
yeah,
Booty
booty butt cheeks.
Cheeks.
Um, yeah, so
Also,
that get
also, he and I said this in the, earlier. He was the one who the Usher episode. It was based on him because
what
he was talking about they was talking about one thing, and his wife got pissed off, and it just so happened that Usher was there and went ahead and said, and it's actually his ex-wife because she said, yeah, this is my friend such and such over here. This is my husband. Yeah, he's that's my husband over there. And then he's like, wow. So this is what. And then, ironically, he was the actual waiter that said to him like, shit
to
wouldn't have happened to
Tom.
me. At
Yeah,
Tom, he was like, shit wouldn't have happened to me. And it
he
actually
did the
was
voice.
him.
Now the funnier part about that is now Usher has turned his whole residency in Vegas into basically doing that shit. Like we've all seen the videos of Usher basically seducing women with
We?
cherries. You haven't seen them?
No, I don't follow Usher.
Wow.
No. It's not even. So that's the thing, Lillian. It's not even about following. Like I haven't seen a single video. Like I don't follow Usher either on any social media, but I've seen these videos. I will share them with you. But
Yeah.
essentially, it's
Sure.
just it.
No,
It's Usher's.
he's
It's
Mr. Steal Your Girl. He really is. Like it's
it's
not
Usher.
even he doesn't sugarcoat. He literally will go in with a mink coat and a red mink coat with his skates on and then stroll back right past you and just go ahead and put the cherries right near your face and they just expect you to eat that shit. And they do
Hot,
it.
hot take. Hot take. It's Usher learned. It's Usher taking what he learned when he was under Diddy's tutelage and using it in his
Oh my
concert
God.
format.
Yep, that is actually
But
fair.
anyway,
That's very fair. Go ahead.
but
Anyway.
allegedly, anyway. Let's get to the last topic of what we got going on. We really didn't have too much as far as like in terms of like uplifting stories. So we kind of manufactured one. I started talking about some things. I've said on this show before, and I've said it on a couple other spaces that like I've gotten back into comic book collecting. And
Mm.
it's been one of the things that is bringing me joy to counteract the poison pill of this government that constantly inundates me with bad news every week. So like I've been reading a couple of different runs and different things of that nature and things that are going on. And one of my more favorite things that I've been reading here lately is I'm gonna start off with two of them. Is this new run of Captain America? This is written by give me one second. Yes, it's the Chip Zdarsky run of Captain America, and essentially in this one, Captain America wakes up, I believe, in a post 9/11 world. There is already they've already when he went into the ice, they already had a different Captain America who they brought in. I can't think of his name off the top of my head right now, but essentially, he was Captain America while Captain America is in the ice, and he's had to commit a couple, like essentially he was in Iraq and Afghanistan during those times and dealing with that type of stuff, and he's had to commit some atrocities before Captain America came back, and now Captain America is coming to this world, and he still has his whole World War II virtue, and essentially he's Steve Rogers, but in a more modern world, and he's learning that things ain't cracked up the way that he thinks it is. The world is a lot harsher, and it's everything ain't as black and white as we think it is. Sure, what you got, Herb?
So basically, he was Bucky.
No.
No, I'm talking
No.
no, I'm talking about the Captain America who they put in.
Essentially, yeah. Essentially, like, so like that's actually a good analogy because we all know that Bucky was the one doing like the dirty work, and he was the one that kind of woke him as just like, nah, it ain't just like red, white, and blue. It's the red is the blood that I've spilled in order to keep our way of life going. Yeah, that's actually a pretty good analogy. Yeah. It's a really good run. I said if you're a Captain America person, or if you're somewhat trying to see like more modern type of run or spin to Marvel Comics, I suggest that one. The next one that I want to talk about is, I feel like I mention it every week.
You do.
This is Absolute Batman number 12. Absolute Batman has me in a complete and utter chokehold. Like I told Lillian and her before when we first got on, Absolute Batman number 12 is one of the darkest comic books I have ever read in my life. Essentially, in Absolute Batman number 10 and 11, Batman gets kidnapped by Bane and he gets experimented on. Batman and his friend Waylon Jones. So his rogues gallery is essentially a group of people that he grew up with. Waylon Jones, who was also Killer Croc. What's his name? Edward Nigma, the Riddler, Oswald Cobblepot, the Penguin, and Harvey Dent, Two-Face. They all grew up as friends together in this universe. Like I said, Batman gets kidnapped by Bane, who takes him to this Arc M, which is a big facility underneath the city. They start experimenting on Batman, and he escapes. Bane, to get to Batman, because they know who he is, they know he's Bruce Wayne, they kidnap his friends. And in this book, this is where he creates the Riddler, the Penguin, and Two-Face. This is very, very fucked up. The Penguin, who is Oz Cobb, he's actually like, he's like a shorter guy. He's a short person. He's like a dwarf, I believe. But in this one, he's an average sized person. He's about 5'8", 5'9". Bane pulverizes every bone in his body to the point that he becomes about 2 to 3 feet tall. I'm not going to show the panel because despite some of the stuff that we say, that if I show that panel, it'll get us taken down. It's fucked up. Two-Face, essentially he breaks half of his body and then sets him on fire. And then there's the Riddler. You ever seen someone get their skull cracked by someone gouging their eyes out? Well, I did, and that's how essentially. And he kind of activates the Riddler
mountain,
brain.
The mountain.
Yeah.
It was worse than that. It was
oh
worse
God! Oh my God! Oh my God!
Because so I'll put it this way: Batman, in Absolute Batman, Batman is 6'9", 420, and Bane makes him look like a kid. Like, it looks like me standing next to a kid in elementary school when they show them on the same panel. That's how big Bane is. But anyway, yeah, Absolute Batman. Please, if you have the opportunity, go out and get it. Like, the Absolute series is well, I was about to say the Absolute series is absolutely killing it. Didn't mean to do that, but
no
it is.
No pun intended.
Yeah, but I gave you one.
If you're a sick-demented person that loves to see shit like this,
if you're a comic book reader, go out and get it. Another one real quick, just to end on it, because it's another one that's kind of fucked up. The Predator Kills the Marvel Universe. This is issue number 2. Excuse me. This has been a very interesting read because they had some individual issues that started before, some individual runs that started before, and it was like Predator kills this person. And in that story, like, they had essentially Kraven is working with the Predators. Kraven shows them to be a superior hunter, and they bring him along with him, and he promises them the ultimate trophies. And the Ultimate Trophies is all the heroes and villains of the Marvel Universe. Um, in issue 1, they take out the Fantastic Four. They blow Reed Richards' arm off, and they knock the Thing into outer space. Um, like it's a little twisted, but it's actually very interesting. In this
Mhm.
issue, once they take out the Fantastic Four, they immediately come for the X-Men. Um, they incapacitate Charles and Magneto, and then they essentially invade the rest of the X Mansion. Um, Cyclops gets his head bashed in in
That's
this
crazy.
issue. Yeah, it's pretty wild. And at the end of this issue
Does
is
Deadpool make an appearance?
not yet, but I believe he will show up. But at the end of this issue, it was Craven facing off against the Hulk, who they threw Captain America's bloody shield at. So right now, the Predators have gotten the jump on everybody, and they've been overwhelming people just because they had no idea what was coming. But they didn't activated the right one because the big green guy is pissed, and believe he's about to go on a rampage in the third one. So yeah, but those are some of the comics that I've been reading. If you're a person who has never been into comics, or if you're a person that is into comics, now is the perfect time to get into them. Like there's some really good runs going on. There's some really good stuff out there to read. And outside of just the three things that I pulled up here, there's a lot more really good stuff going on. Image Comics has a Battle Beast run going on. Space Ghost has a comic going on. I got the first 2 issues. I didn't even mention it, but it's one of the best things that's going on right now. Like I love this issue. I love Space Ghost. Like this is absolutely phenomenal. Um, it's crazy. Like, and it's
Is
not
he
satire.
interviewing anybody?
It's no, that's the thing. It's not satire.
It's not
satire.
Space Ghost Coast to Coast. It's Space Ghost is a
Right.
hero. Space Ghost is a hero, which is why he got the syndicated nighttime talk show.
Hold on, let me like look at him. Look at him
Yeah, buddy.
in all his glory.
Yeah, buddy.
Now, it's funny. I start talking about comic books, and I instantly get an email from Third Eye Comics. But
Wow.
yeah, like,
They heard you.
right. Leave me alone, Steve. But no, yeah, please, like just as like a palate cleanser to day to day life, like go out, get yourself some comics, or even if you don't read comics, like go to trying to get put on here. Go to Third Eye if you're in the DMV area. There's one everywhere. Like it's accessible to everybody. Patronize them. Like they got everything that you want. They got not just comics, they got mangas, they got graphic novels. Like the
Got your
staff
Funko Pops.
yeah, they got just about everything involved as far as comic culture and anime culture and everything like that. They have they have these massive Studio Ghibli books.
Yes, they do.
Is that like? But I actually found myself almost being late for work because I stopped and I was looking and I was like, wow, look at this.
Yeah, the
But
Studio
anyway,
Ghibli films are Studio Ghibli gained its reputation for a reason. If you haven't gotten spun up on Studio Ghibli yet, I would implore you to watch some of their more recognized films like Princess Mononoke, Spirited Away, The Girl. Don't okay. That's just an aside. If you want my opinion on Spirited Away, that's another day, another time. But Studio Ghibli has a lot of good films, a lot of really impressive animation, and I believe Rick is talking about their content, like not their content, their concept art books or their recipe books.
Yeah.
Insane, absolutely. 10 toes down on Studio Ghibli, absolutely.
Right. But yeah, like go out, get yourself some comic books. Like it's a cheap hobby. Like I'll get like 7 comics a week, and it's all like 25-30 bucks. So, yeah, I believe that's. Also, Peacemaker episode 5 dropped. It was pretty good. This show is tightening up. It's tightening up. I'll say that. Like you can tell some shit's about to pop off. Gen V. Season 2 of Gen V, which is the spinoff show to The Boys. It started this week on Amazon Prime. Don't want to talk about it because, quite frankly, haven't had the chance to watch any of the episodes, but we will talk about it next week. And Superman is now on HBO Max.
Yeah,
so
I saw that.
If you want something to make you feel refreshed, if you want something to make you feel energized, if you want something to inspire you to fight back against tyranny, please go and watch Superman on HBO Max. No, I will not be giving anybody my HBO Max password. I just gave it out to another person the other day, and I am at my limits. So find someone else to watch. Um, but do y'all
No.
got anything else?
Um.
uh,
No.
no,
Just make
no.
sure as the world burns that you are finding things you enjoy, whether it is the fire that keeps you warm or the comic books you now get to read. Make sure you find something you enjoy. Very important, regardless.
I will make I will make sure every single time we end this podcast, release the Epstein files.
Say it louder for people in the back. But
Release the Epstein files.
Didn't you
so
hear?
Lillian, let everybody.
Never mind. It was
Let,
gonna be a bad joke. Go ahead.
Lillian, let everyone know where they can find you on social media.
If you would like to find me out there on the internet, I am Lillian Dis. Watashi wa Lillian Dis. Yoroshiku onegai shimasu. We will see y'all another time. That is Lillian with two L's. I don't
Uh,
know who started that, but it's Lillian with two L's. Desu.
Herb, let people know where they
You
can
can
find you.
you can find me on IG, Herbitos_way. Also off the bench _HTTC. I do commander content. Got a big game tomorrow, and tune in. So
Bet. Rick.
And you can find me at just_Rick_Williams_83 on Instagram. People keep telling me they can't find me because they can't put the underscore, so I just said it for y'all. You can also find me on, nope, that's the only social media I'm giving out. But if you really need me and if you're ever in trouble, you can always just look inside your heart because I'm always there. I could get this point right.
All right, we
Thank
will
you guys for
see
joining
y'all.
us.
Oh, wait. One last thing before we hop out. We will not be on air next week. We'll be taking a break. We will be back October, what is that, 4th? October 4th.
Fourth, my birthday.
Happy
Turning
early
40.
birthday, her.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're gonna go out and get drunk after the show at night.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, we definitely are.
gonna get wasted.
Yeah. So. All right, everybody. Release the
Bye.
Epstein files.
I thought you ended the show already.